Namaste, good afternoon everyone, and welcome to another of our Friday afternoon Qigong classes. So we're going to carry on with our 5 elements, and today we're going to add in the 5 healing sounds, because in this part of the world we're starting to get into the autumn and into the winter seasons, the colder months and the colder symptoms, the colds, the flus that can tend to do the rounds this time of year. So this is one to just help clear the system. Each sound is supposed to be connected with different parts of the system, again to release anything that we no longer need before we go into practice and build some energy, a strong foundation, deeper breathing that's going to support us all around. So find yourself as usual a comfy position. I'll be standing today, but again if you're seated you can look to last week's live and the premiere, because they've got on them the seated version of this. So without further ado, let's get our usual warm up, letting our body and our system know we're into downtime, we're into relaxing. So we're just flexing them wrists and the fingers backwards and forwards. A nice figure 8. Supporting dexterity of the fingers, the wrists, especially if you've been doing a lot of laptop work or using phones. So let's get them shoulders open. So again, you take the backs of the palms away, around and behind you. And the other way. And back. Lovely. So now let's get a bit of opening into our waist. So let's just do a few nice hip circles. And we'll come back to do our, in fact we'll do it now, our tray of teacups. We'll do it like a teapot today, so we've got one hand on our hips, our waist kind of line, wherever's comfortable for you. I tend to rest it around the trouser kind of level. And so we've got our palm facing up, and it's going to come round to the side, push behind, come round and over the head. So we keep that tray nice and straight, and we come in, we push behind, fingertips facing away, fingertips continue to face away as it comes from behind, palm facing up, palm continues to face up, fingers pointing away. So when you're ready, take that as slowly and as easily as you need to. This is one that's come with time and practice for me. It's a really nice one to do at the start of the day or any time of the day, just once a day. They say, one of my senseis says, if you do one movement in a day, in Chinese medicine it's supposed to be the spiraling, letting everything in nature grows in spirals, so just inviting the body to spiral a bit. So again, palm facing up, through the gap, fingers face you, fingers face away, fingers come behind, fingers face behind you. So, and we're turning at the wrist, we're trying to keep that palm nice and straight with a slight cupping in the palm, as if you're holding a bowl, slightly concave in the hand. And the hips are always moving so that there's space. As this arm comes round, there's a gap to move that arm into. So as the arm goes over the head, the hips go back, it comes round, they come forward. Feeling that spiraling right the way from the soles of the feet. And to wake up our brain, let's go for some brain dexterity. So let's get one arm going. You can do this with the hips if that's okay for you. If not, do it without the hips. And then we're going to take the other arm the opposite direction. And there'll always be a gap at the side and the hip. Still trying to keep them trays straight, which slightly changes the movement, but again it's just to invite the whole body to spiral. Even those that are seated can have a go, even if it's just mentally, it's just meeting your body where it's at today. And then taking the fingers and imagine pushing those wrists down to the bottom corners of your room. this one's just inviting the shoulders to drop down a bit. Slight tuck of the chin, slight stretch of the spine. And always do what feels right for your body and your neck to support it. If you do feel to roll your neck over the shoulder, always lifting with a line of opposition between this point and the opposite arm. So I'm imagining a rod going through them, and it's like a magnet repelling each other, so that I've still got some lift through the spine, the neck's not crunching in any way, it's not trapped in any way. And to the other side, and that's just inviting a stretch down the outer arm and letting the shoulder blades drop down. Lovely. So let's do stalk spreads its feathers to really support those shoulders. So circling round, fingertips, letting gravity do the work here, letting gravity pull the fingertips down. So again, breathing in as if you're scooping water, and breathing out and letting them drop down to the sides. Final time. And then again with this one, we can do a slight roll, keeping a line of opposition between the crown and the opposite fingers. Again, just relieving any tension or tightness at the side of the neck, the top of the shoulder. Especially this time of year, this might be a really helpful one to do during winter if you find you hunch a lot like I do. I notice a lot during the winter, my shoulders naturally lift up, my neck's tucking in to keep me a bit warmer. And so the shoulders can naturally rise a bit, so this invites them to just drop down a bit. Relax. Staying nice and open. Oh. And I can tell Qigong's working when I'm yawning. It's a sign I'm relaxing. Okay. So we can just do owl spreads its feathers just to open the sides of the neck. So we take the palms in front, pelvis level, and they just open up, and we turn the head to look one way, let them drop down to centre and the other way. One more time. You can hold it slightly as well for an inhale and exhale. And we're never forcing the fingertips down. We're just imagining gravity, we're just relaxing. We can mentally start to communicate with our body. The more I've done this with body scans, the more I can mentally invite each muscle, each tendon to relax, to release, to be heavy. So let's get a little bit of our lower body warmed up, and we'll do a bit with the spine as well. So again, you can just rub. You can do this with a wide leg, trying to keep the back nice and straight. For those that are seated still, you can have a rub of your legs just to warm them up slightly. And for those that are standing, can do tiger claws, so as if you're trying to grip onto the wall, as if you were climbing up a wall, so a slight grip. And we can, which is quite an invigorating one and a bit of a cleanser. Great for grounding, building some strength in the lower body, invigorating the whole system. A nice loud audible sigh, and that in itself releases the signs that the audible sigh relieves some of the stress hormones, resetting your system. Okay. So you can always do a bit with the knees, just gently circling them, and again it's just to bring awareness to the joint, and forwards and backwards. Find what feels good in your body. If you've got anything sensitive, you can always skip it out, try some variations. Find what feels good in your body. And the ankles, ones that often get missed and forgotten. My foot's a bit sore this week on this side, so I'm not going as extensively. I'm leaning against the surface. And these can be great as well, balancing exercises. If you find you're a lot up here in the head, balancing exercises, even an exercise like this while you're with the kettle, can help ground you in your body. Because balance requires a lot of focus and concentration, it can take the mind off other things. So let's have a bit of a shake the tree, and then we will do our healing sounds, and we'll go into our postures and our flows to finish. So we'll see how we get on this week with holding the postures for 5 postures and then the flows to mix it up from last week where we were doing posture flow. See if that feels any different for you. So let's do our usual shake the tree. So you can start with the hands and the wrists, flexing them fingers, again with that audible sigh. Really loose and relaxed. And when you're ready, and even if you're seated, you can imagine bouncing in and out of your sits bones. Slight tuck of the chin, lift of the crown. When you feel you've got a lot on your mind, or you've had a busy or stressful time in your day, this is something we do to soothe young children, babies, soothes the whole system. And they say vibration, our whole body is energy, and energy is vibration, it's movement, whether it's bones and the really dense or the connective tissue. And the bounce is just shaking it up, shifting it around, letting anything trapped release. Any tightness or tension in the muscles, you can imagine anything just flicking out the fingers, out the feet. Just letting the movement slowly loosen up and relax the body. Shake out any tension or tightness in the muscles. We're making space with these. With space we can create change. Slowing it down. Slowing it down, and just arms at your sides and notice how you feel. Okay, so let's go with our healing sounds. So we're going to breathe in for 3, like this, and then we'll breathe out. And we're going to take our fingertips and pinch them all together. And we're going to breathe in for 3, and it looks like this. And we're standing upright. Okay, so, and then down. And then we'll breathe in 3 times again. And out. And we'll add sounds. So together, in for 3. And out. Breathing in for 3. And we'll go with our first sound, which is sh or z for the lungs. Z. 3 times. Breathing in. Let's do kidneys. Breathing in 3 times. We'll do the liver, which is a sh. Like quietening a child. Breathe in. For the heart, it's a ha sound. Ha. And you just make the sound to the end of your lung capacity. And then again. And this time we're going to go with the spleen sound. Ooh. It's quite a guttural one. We'll do that one again. So breathe in. Ooh. Imagine it coming out of that place. You can even imagine the organs squeezing. Final time, triple warmer. Hee. Then we breathe in, and we can step sideways and get ready to look ridiculous. Cross your eyes and stick your tongue out. So that's Phoenix washes its feathers. Quite a fun one, and again just releasing any tension or tightness in the body. So you can have a final shake until you're ready, and let's get ourselves set up in our Wuji posture. So we're doing our first standing posture. We'll go through each of the standing postures and then to the flows. So we've got our hands slightly cupped around the abdomen, the lower dantian level, which we've talked about in Chinese medicine. It's kind of the bodily energy, they say, around the core. You can imagine your hands floating like corks on water. Now imagine a melting down the back body, and melting and a relaxing, a softening of the shoulder blades down the back body, while it's like zipping up through the front body, just so we're maintaining integrity, aware of our front and our back. And in the central and governing channels, it's this notion of things rising up the back and sinking down the front. Okay, so we're relaxing and softening down the back, and then I imagine with the inhale it's like straightening of the front body, a slight tuck of the chin, lift of the crown, so the crown's facing upwards as if a marionette string's holding you up. I've got a slight bend in the knees, feet and hips, slightly shoulder width apart, slightly wider, find what's comfortable. For those seated, connect to your sits bones. I'm just going to invite the whole body to relax and soften. Awareness, structure and space. Now mentally imagine relaxing the abdomen. I notice a lot of the time it's not until I get to this point in the practice that my stomach's held in, it's breathing in. I know a lot of women around me have also talked about similar things. Giving your body full permission to just take up the space it needs, and inviting the breath to land down now, awareness into the abdomen. Just noticing the rising and falling of the breath. Notice where it lands in the body. We're not judging it, we're not changing it, we're just inviting the body to soften. Giving our breath awareness and attention. And this exercise is linked to the lungs. So you can imagine white light in the lungs as you breathe in. The lungs associated with metal, with organisation and structure, among many other things. So we'll just stay here for a minute and then we'll transition to our next posture. So focusing on the breath. Imagine a slight stretch of the palms like a drum skin to keep awareness in the palms. You can do the same with the soles of your feet. You can focus on your sits bones, keeping the mind engaged in the practice, in your body. Letting your mind be in your body while it's still. Nothing to do, nowhere to be. And then we're going to take those arms behind. I don't know if you can see it, so it's almost like we're holding a bowl behind us. Again, I'm imagining my tailbone slightly sinking down, crown lifting, chin tucked. You might want to lean forward slightly, keeping a straight spine. So it's more of a kind of, imagine you've got a rod here and you just kind of levered forward. That brings some relief for the lower back. Find what feels comfortable. And then just imagine breathing into the back body, the kidney area. Kidneys, this posture associated with water. So supporting and nourishing the waters of your body, the brain. And the qualities of water which are more restive feel quite relaxed when I'm looking at water. There's flow. And the power of that gentleness. The power of the river to shape the course of rocks through this gentle, steady flow. So just noticing how the back of your body feels, the back of the abdomen. Just inviting the breath to take up more space. You can imagine breathing a ball of blue light into the kidneys if that helps anchor the mind and the body. Making sure them shoulders remain nice and relaxed, those shoulder blades melting down the back body. I've noticed mine have rised a bit. Palms facing upright. As we now bring them round to our tree posture, stand like a tree. Again, nice and soft in the shoulder blades, straighten the spine, dip of the tailbone, lift of the crown, top of the chin. Keeping them hands taut like the skins of a drum, not overstretched so it's uncomfortable, but just with a slight stretch, slight awareness. You can do the same with the feet. The tree associated with wood, with the fascia, the woody and connective tissues of the body, so this is creating space around and through our soft tissues, around the connective tissue that supports and wraps around the lungs, the organs. So you can imagine breathing in space. In this one we're balanced, equally connected to the soles of our feet and the crown of our head in this middle waypoint. And this position is supporting our liver. So you can imagine breathing green light into the liver. So you can see from the side, the arms are still slightly arched. Slight cupping of the hands around the kind of liver level, just to your right hand side of your body. And the liver associated with anger, with carrying that emotion, and its counterpart is loving kindness, so extending some self-kindness and compassion. This is something new to you. You can just imagine giving thanks to your body. Thanks for this breath, for this practice. And practice kindness to ourselves or to others can help balance, bring us back into alignment. So now we're going to take those arms, we're going to hold the golden urn to the yang position, which is the heavens. So again we've got this slight arch, as if we're pushing outward like a blade cutting through something. So there's a slight pushing movement. Elbows are nice and soft, relaxing down the shoulders at the back body, tailbone dipping, crown lifting, and we breathe. Imagine those fingertips are being held up like marionette strings. Imagine the hands like corks bobbing on the surface of water, supported, buoyant, relaxed. And the elbows and the shoulders are supported, held on water, soft, buoyant, relaxed. QiGong is an embodying of effortless effort. We take the structure and the form, and then we invite space. We're relaxed yet alert. You can imagine the light of the heavens pouring and shining through and coming into your heart. This posture is associated with the heart. You can imagine the light of the sun, the warmth of the sun, captured in the goblet above your head, the chalice. and flowing down into the heart and right through the body. Imagine a gentle pink or warm red light. For those with heart conditions, a softer colour is recommended. Those shoulders still soft, that water holding us up. And you can touch the roof of your mouth with your tongue, just slightly behind and not touching the teeth, to connect the microcosmic orbit as well. To just support an energetic flow around the front and back body. They're governing a meridian, the central conception and governing vessels in Chinese medicine. Bring those arms down, and the golden urn faces the yin position, which is the earth, connecting to our legs. Slight dip of the tailbone, lift of the crown, and again we're nice and soft in the elbows, we're soft in the wrists, but with a bit of awareness and alertness through to the fingertips and the hands. So around our solar plexus kind of level, the mid of the abdomen. This is the earth posture. It's connected with stomach and spleens, the digestion, that rest and digest phase, nurturing. So really noticing, aware of all four corners of your feet, your palms, noticing your sits bones, whether standing or seated, and the tailbone. Feeling the straightness of the spine, those shoulder blades relaxing down the back body. And just imagine feeling connected, strongly rooted. The earth beneath you, feeling the strength of your foundation. A solid, sturdy support. It's also associated with community. Final breath. And let's flow. So we start with our lungs flow. So breathe in to open our arms up for the stalk, and breathe out. Breathing in. So arms lift. With the breath, first finger and thumb touch, and we open and close. Feeling the openness of the chest, spaciousness in the lungs. Final time. To our fountain. So hands float away, backs of the palms come together. And up, and remember we're going around the pivot of the elbow like this. And there's a slight wave through the spine. As we lift, as if water's pumping up from our what they call the hui yin, the kind of tailbone level, that base of the spine kind of place, the core. It's flowing up through our whole system. Slight awareness through the palms and the fingertips. Time. Palms come to rest. We turn and lift up, tree sways in the wind. I find this great to reduce overthinking. I'm turning from this place with a straight spine. Imagine clearing out. This is linked to the liver channel. frustrations, any busy energy, restlessness, we're releasing. I can imagine white light washing through if it helps. Final time. Once to each side. Bring it up. And go on, and it flow down through the centre. Lovely. So let's go with those cloudy hands. So again, we've got a slight, like a sail catching in the wind. We shift the weight from one foot, then we turn, change hands. Bottom palm faces the floor, the other's facing the heart. Turn, change hands, shift, turn, change hands, shift, turn, change hands. For those newer to the practice, you can visit some of the earlier videos where we explain them, take a bit longer over each one. We just did 3 at a time. Final time. And pebble in the pond, so hands around that solar plexus level, kind of the lower ribs, stomach and spleen level. So breathe in, and then we pivot forward again with a straight spine as if we're looking at our reflection, palms grazing over the surface of water. Final time. Let's draw down those heavens. Purple light washes through with your breath. Final time. Purple light washing through, dissolving, relaxing, balancing. We come to centre at our core, feet come together. A few nice deep centering abdominal breaths. You can do tree sways in the wind here. So the feet are together, knees slightly bent, tuck of the chin, lift of the crown, and we'll just relax, standing upright, letting the body rock and sway. Inviting the breath to land in the abdomen. Final exhalation. And this time, just circle around the abdomen and release with an audible sigh. Namaste everyone. Thank you for practicing, and we'll see you again same time next week for another of our practices. Take good care, and I'll see you next time. Namaste.